Okay, so I am recording this video to tell people about a technique, editing technique called the ugly cut. The ugly cut it's the very first cut. It's before you even do your rough cut. It's like the very first thing you do. So here, I'm going to start a new sequence here. I already have an ugly cut, but I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you how to build one. So you start a new sequence. We'll call this ugly 2. All right. And so when you've got your, basically the first thing you want to do is just start making title cards. So let's make a title card. We'll call this splash screen. You just call it. You call it whatever the heck is supposed to be in the movie. Think of your think of each title card representing a sequence. So we'll call this the splash screen. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay, splash screen. Yay! We'll put it where it's supposed to be. All right. So just take it and you drop it in there, and then what you do is however long you think your splash screen is going to be, like 30 seconds, say. 5 seconds? No, that's too short. So where's that? 30 seconds. So 30 seconds somewhere like right there, approximately. So you'd say, okay, there's my splash screen, and then whatever the next part would be. Let's say we're going to have the this isn't actually the order of the movie, but let's just say it is. So we put in the next one is the 12 Monkeys headquarters scene. And say that's like 2 minutes or whatever, and then you just keep doing that, and basically all you're doing is you're marking out the amount of time you think the each scene is going to be, so you have a good idea about the initial pacing of the film, and where you want to budget yourself time-wise. And then once you have that, and then you can start adding some music to it, which is good. You should put down like a music track for each card, because the idea being you don't have footage to insert yet. So you want to have something. Do I have no music on here? Here we go. Something that at least conveys some sort of information, whatever you could possibly put in there, and everything you put in here is temporary, and it's the ugly cut. We don't care about making things perfect, getting everything just right. It's basically the same idea behind the rough cut, except for when you do a rough cut, you actually have footage to put in. So, and then what happens after that is you fill it all out, and you get an idea of what your movie is going to be, and you just you keep adding in scenes and like guessing about the length of what it's going to be, so then it goes to the next one. So you're listening to music and looking at the title card. All right, and then once you get it all filled out, then you can start actually taking, start actually putting in some footage there that's more representative. Take the card out. Once you have a sequence like this here, this is a sequence that I built somewhere else. So once I had that sequence built, I just took it in, brought it in, and replaced my my title card. And so now I have that sequence there that'll play. And this is just the sound. So this is not necessarily, it's ugly. Everything's ugly in an ugly cut. It's not the right footage. It's initial soundtrack, whatever. You'll do all that fixing and trimming stuff later. Of course, you're going to do little bits of it as you go along, but by no means should you want spend time trying to reach perfection. Now, like this scene is pretty much this one is 100%, and you have things like this is what happens when you do ugly cuts. See here, this scene was longer, and I cut it down, made it smaller. This one right here, because I was working on it in the sequencer, and so it got smaller, and so it doesn't fit anymore. So that's part of the ugly cut. It's gonna be, ideally it's gonna be bigger than what you're actually gonna have at the end, but it gives you a layout and shows you exactly how close you are to getting to finally to get to that point where you have a rough cut. And then I'm just going to grab everything and just pull it back and put it right up against the end of the last scene here. So this little sample here. So there's that sequence I'm working on, and then it goes into this sequence that's completed. And I can see my volume is too loud. I'm getting a little clipping. So maybe my sequence is as perfect as I would like it to be. I'm going to have to go back and check and see if that's in the original sequence, or if that was from the output video, or what's going on with that. But yeah, we're just being ugly here and letting it be ugly and not worrying about it. And you'll see what happens is we finish up this scene, we go into the next scene, which isn't even sequenced yet, and voila, there you go, we're into a title card now. And we don't want a title card, we want a sequence, and I actually have been working on the sequence, and even though it's not even close to ready, we have something, and it gives us an idea of the length we're working on. So I'm going to just take this title card. Whoops, I don't want everything. Just going to take the title card, move it up. In fact, I'm going to add a track here, even though I shouldn't need it, but I just like having space for this kind of stuff. So move the title track up, and then we're going to go into find our sequence, which should be called Kidnapping. Here it is. Pull it in. Oh, and as you can see, it's like way too big. So we're gonna run over there. That's what's gonna happen. Push it back. See, I decided to push the whole film back. That's okay. It's an ugly cut. It doesn't matter. It's all good. So now we see where we have an idea. This is our ideal length. This is how long we want the scene to be, and then this is how long it is now. And we can see it's ugly. That's why we call it the ugly cut. So so then we can go back into our sequence, and we'll try to match it up to the length we have selected. Yeah, and that is the ugly cut, and that is how it works. So hopefully that will help you guys in your editing.